When one door closes, another one opens. And here at Buildwise Namibia, the opportunities are wide open. Today, we're talking all things glass, aluminium, and safety materials that define the look and security of modern Namibian homes and businesses. I am Master, and this is My.na property. Let's take a look and walk around here at Buildwise Namibia to see how you can make your home or your office more secure. Now I'm joined by Richard, who is the co-owner of Buildwise Namibia. Richard, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for opening up your space to us and, of course, for allowing us in.
Happy to have you here.
All right, now let's talk all things Buildwise Namibia, right? So, first of all, you're celebrating a big milestone. Yeah, so let's talk about the history and a little bit of the background and how far you guys have come as Buildwise Namibia.
Yeah, so Buildwise started in 2016 already, and they got off to a good start. I only got involved at about 2.5 years ago. I bought it from one of the previous owners, and since then we have definitely been keeping the pedal to the metal in terms of growth.
Okay, so why did you decide to buy it and invest in this?
Well, one always plans to take an opportunity and grow it to a greater thing than it was to start off with. And Buildwise was such an opportunity. I actually had done business with Buildwise in the past, and I met several of the staff and the team that work here currently prior to being engaged in terms of ownership. And it's about the value. So when you have values that align, then a relationship and decision making becomes quite easy.
Oh, love it. Okay, so let's talk about what Buildwise specializes in. Let's talk about the products and the services that you guys offer.
Well, we're definitely growing our spectrum. However, I will not by order of magnitude, but preference, but just to get it out there. Aluminium and glass is where it really all started. And that is still a very, very vibrant part of the market. Aluminium and glass in Namibia is extremely popular, and it is a growing environment that we find ourselves in. So we're quite optimistic about the short and medium-term future in terms of aluminium and glass. However, there are several products which I'll just run through in basic terms right away, and one of them is that we've got fantastic brands involved with Buildwise. For example, we've got the Expander product range. Expander focuses a lot on safety and security in homes and commercial spaces. They've got roller shutters, they've got trellis doors, several related products. On top of that, we also have the Saint Gobain product range, which specializes in ceilings and drywall, and they're an incredibly good partner to have. You know, a company that has been in existence for over 300 years has got a lot to teach you. So we're learning by the second, and we get a lot of support from them. So in terms of Saint Gobain, we are what you call an SD, which is a specialized distributor of ceiling boards and drywalls. And we have then a lot of technical support and information regarding things like fire-proof materials, soundproof materials, and a lot of guidance in terms of what one can do to optimize a space, to create a nice space using drywall and ceilings.
Okay.
Yeah, and above and beyond that, we also have fire doors. We have got a very big range of blinds and closers, so vertical blinds, Venetian blinds, all kinds of blinds, motorized things. And yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
So basically, if I'm building my house, this is the place to be. This is where I just need to come and get everything.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to take care of a lot of things in terms of making the space pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, so aluminium and glass and tinting, that type of thing, we can do a lot. And of course, the aesthetics like your blinds and so forth.
Let's bring it back to the glass and the aluminium, right? So what would you say these add to office space and home space aesthetically?
I think you already got the word there, it's space. So, you know, 4 walls and a roof creates a space, and the space creates a feeling. And aluminium and glass is something which is awesome because it can give you an inside-outside inside feeling, right? So you can have a beautiful view from outside, but you can do this from the comfort of being inside. And you can create entire curtain walls, for example, out of glass and aluminium. That one has the benefit of having a nice cozy environment on the inside of the building, but you still have the views on the outside of the building too.
Love it. All right. So with so many options on the market, what would you say makes Buildwise stand out? Why should we come to Buildwise?
It's this word over here. Excellence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So excellence goes a long way. And we always say to ourselves, if it's not excellent, it's not Buildwise.
Oh,
So
love
we
it.
challenge ourselves and we strive for excellence all the time, all the way. And essentially that comes from repeated, learned quality checks and the details. The details matter.
The details definitely matter. And I actually had the pleasure of having a tour of the factory just before we started this interview. And of course, we are going to give our viewers that tour as well. But we noticed that excellence runs throughout. And you gave us a very good demonstration of, when everything is perfect, but then that last step is not perfect, that just throws away all the work. So I like the fact that you guys are so focused on excellence. It's absolutely beautiful.
You see, excellence is not perfection. Perfection is an unattainable goal. However, excellence is something that means that you never get it done. And there's always something better to do the next time.
Wow.
So every time you do a job, there's something to learn, there's something to improve on, there's more information to share. So information sharing is extremely important.
Okay. So you don't just distribute, you also manufacture, right? Let's talk about the distribution before we get into the manufacturing. Do you distribute all over Namibia? Or how does that work?
Yeah. So we have got 9 installation teams that service the entire country. Wow. Right now, we're in the Caprivi Strip, and we're in the Deep South, we're at the coast, we're in the North, and we're all over. So that is one of the things that is particular about Namibia, is that we're a tiny community in a very, very large geographical area. And we have seen that coming, and we know that there's an opportunity there, and we go out of our way to get the far-flung areas covered.
I love it. So you basically cover everybody. Everybody is covered by Buildwise.
Yeah.
Again, excellence. Love it. All right. Now, Richard, let's talk about how long it takes typically from design to installation.
Well, let me give you a good example. It is always how long is a piece of string. It all depends on what you're doing. But let me put it like this. One of our very popular products is what you call a steel window replacement. And you get the old-fashioned steel windows that we're all used to, that we've been seeing since the 80s, all of that. Nothing wrong with them. But sometimes you want to give your house an upgrade. And you don't want to take all the mess and the fuss along with chopping out a steel window. So what we then do is we cut out the inside of a steel window and create a little special ridge cap around, and by the end of the day, that steel window can be an aluminium window.
Wow.
Yeah.
So literally just one day, quick turnaround time.
In fact, we can do 3 to 4 windows a day in that same way.
That is amazing. I'm mind blown. Literally. All right. So we still have a lot more to discuss. And then, of course, later on, we're going to get into the tour. But for now, viewers, let's take a quick ad break, and then we can get back to Richard here, giving us a little more insight about Buildwise. Stick around.
Life is unpredictable, and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
We found our way into Richard's office. Richard, again, thank you for allowing us in your space, and I love the background here. This just shows the type of work that you guys do, right?
It looks like scrap metal, but it's actually art.
It is art, beautiful art, if I may add. All right, now let's get back into it. Now, the construction industry has been quite active this year, with new residential and commercial developments coming along and coming across the country. How has the year been for Buildwise in terms of partnerships and collaborations within the construction sector?
Very growy. In a word, let's call it that. So the opportunities in the construction industry are definitely based on optimism on the future, the long-term view, and a very strong private sector, an interested government sector. You put those items together and generally you will find a vibrant industry. And because Namibia is a very growing environment, there's a lot of development that has to happen on a structural basis. So there's a lot of building going on. We've got detailed information for the whole Namibia, every region. We know where data is. So the coast is a very strong growth point, and that is also why in January we'll be opening a branch in Swakopmund that will then serve the coastal regions there. There are several factors which I don't have to belabor right now. However, the point is that there will be a lot happening there. For the rest of the country, Namibia, in terms of the north, there's always a lot to do in Namibia's largest population group, which is there. And Windhoek being the capital, also lots going on here.
Okay.
So those things all put together keep us quite optimistic about the immediate future. And we're all about the collaboration because your contractors, we're a specialist contractor. And generally one would work with contractors that do the other elements of the construction. So your partnerships are extremely important.
Okay. Now, we've spoken a little bit about the optimistic side, but we have to get into the challenges because every business comes with its challenges. So what are some of the challenges that you guys face and how do you encounter or rather overcome those challenges?
Well, the big thing that I really find is my single biggest challenge is skilled individuals in the country. So when I'm talking about skilled people, it is all the way from our basic manufacturing artisans. That means cutting, assembly, glazing, and then of course our site installation teams. So because the aluminium trade in Namibia is, let me say, in high demand, to get skilled people is a very difficult thing. A lot of skilled people are around already with other supplier and manufacturers. However, all's fair in love and war. So if we find a good person, we always want to also involve skilled people as far as we can. And in terms of administrative people that are good with numbers, people that are good with designs. For example, we've got specialized programs like, for example, Starfront, that are detailed programs how you can create your quotations.
Okay.
And that is software that one doesn't learn unless you're in the trade.
Yeah.
But to really learn and understand that process will take you 6+ months to really master.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't feel that it is something that they're willing to invest that amount of time in. However, they say hire for character, train for skill.
Okay.
So when you've got the right characteristics of people that share your values in your company, it is already 50% of the work done towards having them learning a new skill inside the company. So we also always try and organically develop the skills within the company to fulfill new roles.
Okay. Now, security obviously is one of those key features for any property owner. Now, how would you say Buildwise incorporates that in their projects?
Well, there are a large number of ways that one can do this, but I would say the first thing that comes to mind is our Expander brand.
Okay.
And our Expander brand focuses a lot on home safety. We've got internal shutter doors and trellis doors that one can, like they call it like a instant slam door, things like that, things that you can control with a remote. Very nice technological things that also look very sleek. So in terms of hardware, that is one of the options, but something that is also very popular are clear bars that go on a lot of aluminium windows. So the idea is that one puts up a safety barrier that doesn't inhibit the view of the outside area, as I explained earlier.
Yeah.
That outside-inside feeling is very important. So there are several things that we do bring into the aluminium manufacturing and design that do look at the security particularly.
Okay, and I think you also mentioned that you guys do bulletproof windows, all of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are customers that require bulletproof material. In fact, that piece of glass just behind you there is about 45 millimeters worth of glass.
Wow.
Which is an extremely strong glass, which will offer somebody a reasonable amount of time to get away should there be a threat.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Safety is at the forefront.
It's
Love it.
kind of important, yes.
It's very important. All right, now Richard, let's talk. After installation, service doesn't stop there, right? So what kind of after-sales support can customers expect from Buildwise?
Ongoing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Namibia is a somewhat of a hostile environment. If you look at the coast, the maintenance is extremely important, and there are only so many openings and closings that a engine can do, and that is where we also come in. So our maintenance teams are also permanently around, and for example, what we like to do is, for example, our garage doors and our roller shutters. If you buy a garage door or roller shutter, within a year you will get a call from us and say, guys, that door of yours is a year old. Let's keep it looking good, and we can do a solid service on it and making sure that it stays optimized.
Wow. So it goes back to what you said about, the system and having everything in one place with the software. So you already know, okay, in a year's time or in a few months' time, we're going to need to call up this customer and do a follow-up.
Absolutely. So it comes down to the customer for life principle.
Oh,
so if you want to do business with us, we take a for life view on it. And that is where we're going to be. That's where we will stay.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Okay, now Richard, finally, let's talk. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important in construction. What steps has Buildwise taken to ensure environmental and operational sustainability in your manufacturing and product design?
Well, two things. You're looking at optimization all the time, and the other one is recycling.
Okay.
So I'll start with the first, the optimizing, is when you understand your client's needs well, then the optimizing begins from there. Understanding what type of a glass they will need. Do they want to put in a solar shield? That means that there's a lot of reflection that happens that keeps the heat outside of a building, that then has a direct effect on how much cooling you have to do inside the building. So the glass may be more expensive to start off with. However, you're going to be saving it on your electrical bill for years to come.
Okay.
That is one example. The other side of things is the recycling. In the aluminium trade, you're looking at between 25 to 30% in some occasions wastage on your material. So we always try and do as much as we can with the wastage material. However, most of it, the most practical thing to do is to take it in for recycling. So fortunately, there's a well-developed recycling culture in terms of aluminium products available to us. And on a regular basis, we will send a trailer full of recyclable material to a contractor, what then will give that aluminium a new life.
Okay, and speaking of recycling, I mean,
Yeah.
right here, premium
true.
example.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can do a wall like this almost every single day.
With all the scrap material.
Yes.
Love
Yeah,
it. I would have never actually thought to design something like this with the scrap material. Nobody even knows that it's scrap material. It doesn't look like scrap material. So kudos to you for that. Kudos to your design team. I don't know if that's
Thank
your
you.
brain that did that or somebody else's.
My brain extends beyond my body, so there are other people that help me do all of these things.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see, because I'm a good starter, I would say I want something that looks a little bit like that. And then people who have got the competency will then move me in that direction.
I love it. Okay, so it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
It's a team effort. Speaking of teams, we need to go into the factory, see what the team is up to, and of course, give our viewers a tour of the factory and what they can expect. When you say excellence, they need to see the excellence at work.
100%.
All right, viewers,
Let's go.
stick around. We'll be right back.
Life is unpredictable, and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
All right, so this is our aluminium extrusion receiving area. We bring in stock from our various suppliers. Then the material then gets received here, gets organized, and then from here it goes to the cutting station. Ready to roll? Okay. Right, so at this point in the factory, millimeters matter. So we're looking here at our first station, which is the cut-off machine. So the extrusions then get cut down to size based on a cutting list. Once the cutting list is complete, the material is then stored for the next part of the production, which is then our assembly. Right, so we've got a lot of things that happen in this part of the assembly. So different types of aluminium and different types of glass require different types of assembly. So for example, this is what you would be calling a crimping tool, and this is where you would make the corners nice and solid on your windows. If you look over to this side, then you can see that there are doors and windows and large panels also being manufactured all the time. And that's the beauty about aluminium and glass, is that you can make it to fit the space. So you name it, we can build it. Right. So the manufacturing takes many different shapes and sizes and takes different amount of time. And once it goes through the assembly, then it goes through to the glazing section, which is all the way over here. Okay, so this is our glass processing station. We take large panes of glass and then we cut it down to the size that is required. As mentioned earlier, you get lots of different types of glass. You get tinted glass, different thicknesses, toughened glass, safety glass, all those kinds of things. And this is where it gets processed before it then goes into its final fitting, which is over here. So in this particular case, once the assembly is complete, the glazers then bring the glass and they put it into the door. And then it gets closed up. And once that is done, you've got a semi-finished product. After this has happened, then we put in the hardware. Right. So from here, I just want to show you a little bit about the glass processing. Come along. Right, we're fortunate enough to have our own glass processing machine, and this basically polishes the edges of the glass. It makes it safe to handle the glass for our installers and the people that might work on the doors in future. And of course, when you've got a nicely polished edge, it also reduces the amount of unwanted cracks that can occur during the installation process or as the glass ages over years. Right. From here then we'll go to our dispatch section. This is our polished glass. So once the glass has got its nice beveled edges, there are different settings that you can then choose depending on the application of the glass. So this is also very safe to handle. Right, come along this way. All right, so this is the dispatch area. This is also where the final quality checks happen. So quality checks include easy moving hinges and rollers. It includes making sure that there are no pencil marks left on the aluminium extrusions and that the product is ready to install. So when the installers get the product, they don't have to spend time on doing small things that are unnecessary to do on the site. So this is what things look like before you get them dispatched. From here, they get loaded onto the site vehicles that will then do the installation process. right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very important part of our entire process. So this is what we call our production monitor. The production monitor allows us to keep track of all the projects, material that we're busy processing at any one time. This could be 20 to 30 projects at any one time. So one has to make sure that we track the progress as it happens real time. So our technicians, they update the screen over here. Our salespeople and our account managers, they then also have access to the same information and can relay the information to site teams that have to coordinate installation, and they can also update the client in terms of their expectations. So you'll notice here that 50% of this entire process is all about quality checks. So that means that quality does matter, like we pointed up over there. Quality definitely matters. This production monitor allows us to actually keep track of the things as it goes along. We can pick up quality issues as they arise, and that helps us remove systematic mistakes along the way.
From humble beginnings to becoming one of Namibia's trusted aluminium solution providers, Buildwise continues to quite literally open the doors to innovation, quality, and sustainability. Whether it's the sleek finish of a glass facade or the secure lock of a garage, Buildwise products are shaping the look and feel, and of course, security of Namibian homes and businesses. I am Diana Master, and this has been My.na Property, bringing you closer to the stories that shape the spaces we live in.